pay reference to it, make reference to it. So the theme, first of all, that I'd like to introduce is mindfulness in the sense of everyday mindfulness, where you start to get to know yourself, what you're like, your qualities. So there are so many different ways and approaches to mindfulness, and the one that I'm taking this morning is awareness of qualities. What your basic attitudes and qualities are, and acknowledging them, being aware of them, and assessing them even. Are they ones which you really want to keep and feed even, or are they qualities which sort of work against you and are not helpful, and you want to, as it were, find ways of dissolving them or working against them? So the general theme for this morning is awareness of the areas on the unhelpful side of aversion. When you're against people, you're hypercritical, you're quick to find fault, to notice all the little picky things about them that you don't like, or they might not be little, and just to be able to start to be honest actually about that, so that they don't grow with you being unconscious of them. There's nothing sadder, I think, than someone who's quite old, all of a sudden in their 60s, discovering they've become a grumpy, irritable, mean-minded so-and-so. I find that quite sad. So we avert that by being aware. That's good, isn't it? Averting. And on the other side, we notice if we have natural tendencies to be generous-minded, to give people benefit of the doubt, to appreciative of their positive qualities and the things that they do. And to express that, but also internally, just to notice, do you have a predisposition to be appreciative and to be glad in people's positive qualities? And if you do, to really have confidence in that. And to, in a way, that confidence allows you to take on those positive qualities of appreciation and gladness and gratitude and enjoyment even of people's positive qualities. And I mean, there's a lot that could be said about that, and I will say more later, but that's the general theme. 2 parts, in a way. So you up for it? Good. Okay. Hooray! Thank you. And lots of nodding. Good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to guide you into 3 parts with a little rest period in between. And each part, in a way, is quite different. So the first part is the whole thing about arriving, settling, and becoming more present and engaged. Letting your mind, which is sort of frazzled or all over the place, collect itself. So becoming collected, you could say. The second part is what in Buddhism is called metta, or lovingkindness. And the third part is what in Buddhism is called mudita, or rejoicing, gladness, appreciation of people's positive qualities. So those are the three things that they're sort of progressive in a certain way. So, if you set yourselves up, if you haven't already, nice and comfortable, you all right? So first of all, just giving yourself clear direction to arrive into the room, into a sense of your body and how it feels. And noticing if there's any background preoccupations about something, and just mentally clear it, saying quietly but definitively, not now. If you're going to do it later, you can say to yourself, later, I'll do it later, but not now. And then clearly refocus your attention into your body, how it feels. First of all, being aware of any holding or tension and deliberately sort of softening it, dropping the shoulders. The whole of your body, your face, your neck, shoulders, the back, right down to the seat and legs. And now being aware of if there's any discomfort, and if you need to, just very slightly moving, if you need to feel more comfortable. And if there is any pain or discomfort, just giving it space and even a sense of kindness and breadth of awareness rather than focusing in or cutting off from it. And now, just say to yourself quietly in the back of your mind, the breath, the breath. And letting the breath come to the forefront. You're tracking into the breath, feeling it, the length of it, the feeling of it, settling into the breath. Quite happily, nothing else to do but this, settling into the breath. Now we're going to add a count. So as the breath has gone out, count lightly in the back of your mind 1, and then immediately be aware of the breath coming in, going out 2, up to 5, and then start at 1 again. So the thing is the breath, and the counting is just lightly interspersed. Letting the number be light and quick rather than heavy and long. Still staying with the breath. Now count just before the breath comes in, up to 5, over and over again. Again, letting the number be quick and light. The breath is the thing. Have a sense that your attention and the breath are coming together and dropping the counting now, allowing the sense of the breath to fill you. Using just the right amount of attention to engage with the breath. Still staying with the breath, but as it were, zoom focus into the sensation in the nostrils of the breath. And if it helps, have a couple of slightly emphasized out breaths to help you locate the sensation in the nostrils. Stay with it and let the sensation, as it were, fill you. Just gently adjusting your attentiveness. Do you need a touch more? Or are you pushing too much and need to back off slightly onto the sensation in the nostril? But the aim is to come close into it. And resting. Resting in awareness. Just taking in how you are. Being open to a descriptive word or words for how you are now. Just asking yourself, what's a word that describes how I am now? Just check, does it fit? And then just stay resting in awareness. Now just take a moment to choose a friend. Someone who, when you think of them, you basically like them. Definition of a friend. Now bring them to mind and let that quality of liking them and enjoying them, appreciating them, and having care for them start to emerge as you have them in mind. And if they're doing well in their life, just feeling that, what happens when you bring that to mind. Being aware of the sort of, if there's any underlying quality of wanting them to do well and be well in their life as a quality, just being open to that and let it suffuse you. Staying with it when your mind wanders, just let what you're wondering about off to go, and clearly coming back to the most subtle sense of wanting the best for your friend, appreciation of them. Even if they're having a hard time, but doing well with it, being appreciative of that. Feeling supportive of them. Letting go of thinking too much about it, but just connecting more with the qualities of being supportive, appreciative, kind, with them in mind. Aiming to keep your breath quiet if you can. You might bring that good friend to mind in different ways, practical, in the world type ways, really being supportive and hoping that those practical things go well for them, or they deal with it well, their mental health and their development. And resting. Just being open and sensitive to how you are. Engaged. And being open, just briefly, to a descriptive word for how you are now. But the quality is the thing. And then just let the word go and stay with the quality. Now, bring to mind someone who you admire or respect, who you have a sense has integrity and qualities you admire, even if they have a hard time, but you admire their positive approach to their life, an appreciation of them, and even a rejoicing of how they are. Just picking a person. They might be really going for their meditation practice or practice of mindfulness, and that could be the quality that you admire. Letting that quality of appreciation be the main focus now with that person. You might be aware of their faults and failings, but just for the moment, put them aside, and you're focusing more on their positive qualities and appreciating them. might be particular qualities that they have that you think are just really good qualities. Just bring them to mind and feel that appreciation of those qualities. It's being specific rather than general. They might be dogged and determination in their practice, playful. Bringing whatever quality it is to mind in them and the appreciation of them growing, letting it grow within you. And letting go of any yes but. And resting. Again, being open to any descriptive word for how you are in a fresh way without any anticipation. Just be open, ask what's a word that describes how I am now, and be open to it. Does it fit? And let the word go, but stay with how you are. And then when you're ready, just very gradually, gently open your eyes and sort of take the room in a sort of wide angle way. Just taking in things, people, how we are. And then when you're ready, just sitting comfortably. And just taking in how you are. Don't have to think too much at this moment, just take in how you are. It's more like connecting. You know, if you notice your mind wants to go off on somewhere, just gently go later, just stay. So, just for a few moments, are there any questions that arise in your mind about, from your experience, about what we just did. And that can include online people, just put it in the chat and Vajramitra will point me in the direction. And I'll take this moment just to express hello to everyone, including the person on the phone. Of course, I know who you are. Yes, was there someone put their hand up? No. Just put your hand up, and as we say, unmute and speak. Any thoughts, observations? Yes.
In your opening remarks, you said you were trying to teach skills that allow success in meditation. I wanted to know if you would define success in meditation, whether in this context or not.
Right, well, development, I think. The development of states that have become more open, more expansive, less distracted, more positive, so less negative with aversion, for example, lighter rather than heavy and oppressive, more fluid rather than rigid and literal minded, for example, a sense of unfoldment rather than closeness, for example.
Words.
Fair enough?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a start.
Yeah. The reason for the question is you hear some commentators on meditation talk about, it's enough just to do the exercise and but sometimes you talk about development in a slightly different way. I think sometimes there's a difference there.
Yeah. Well, there is a difference. I mean, what I'm talking about are qualities. Yeah. And the development of qualities. Yeah. The ability to be inspired, for example, is a quality. Well, that is a characteristic of developed meditation. Hooray. Yeah. Any other? That was a good question, wasn't it? Got me going. Yeah. Any other thought, observation coming out of your experience? Yes.
It's more of a comment than a question. I appreciated you telling us once we'd found the name for the feeling and the quality to let go of the word and just stay with it, which I found really useful.
Yeah, good. Well, I think it's important as a thing. I want to add, I didn't do it this time, but some of you who have been around me teaching will have noticed I might also say be open to an image, which also can be very expressive